guys, I am Jessica Johnson, and this is my reflection over assistive technology, Module 9. The role of assistive technology is to assist or help improve a student's ability to complete tasks effectively and efficiently, whether, they can do it, the ability to do it otherwise. So with the assistive technology, it helps them become independent in the classroom and included into the classroom. It ranges from low technology to high. It depends on, if it's just something really small or to like extravagant, like expensive wise about finances and stuff like that. Regardless of what technology you do use, it has to meet the needs of the student. So, and depending on the student, really depends on what they need. And it has to also align with your instructional arrangement. It's just there to support and assist those students to complete those tasks. A website that I liked from this module is the Sarah Simplicity website. I liked the website because not only had I never heard of it before, but I liked the fact that it had a lot of tutorials, like a how to make your document or how the whole website works or what it's about. I like that there's a lot of videos for that. I like that the website has a lot of search uh, stuff on there. You can search for certain documents that they have, or you can create your own. Depending on your student is really going to determine what you want to create on that website. And I like that it could be individualized. Say one student struggles with, with their adjectives. You can make a document that helps them with adjectives. Or say the other student has trouble with nouns. So you give them with nouns or math papers. And you just print them out and give to your student. It's just like a skill builder. It helps those students build the skills that they need in their education. So depending on your student, there's 6 different applications that you can use with assistive technology. There's existence, communication, positioning, mobility, physical education, and environmental interactions. So I chose existence, which is the ability to sustain someone's life, so the individual's life. So whatever technology that you introduce to them is helping them either with eating, sleeping, or personal care, hygiene, stuff like that. Just anything that helps them sustain life or personal care. So what they gave as an example would be to help us, an individual with eating. So say the individual has a hard time picking up smaller objects with a spoon. So they describe getting a larger handle spoon. I've also heard about spoons that reduced shaking. So if the individual has the shakes or just can't sit still with their hands, they have these spoons that you can give them that reduces the shake, and they can bring the food to their mouths a little easier, which is super cool. You'll have to look it up. Another application that I decided to talk about would be communication. So that is what it is, communication, how somebody responds to, a task. How can they verbalize if they can't be verbal? So with that communication, it can be an oral application, written, visual, auditory, social, anything that helps them communicate the what they're wanting to do, or help with a task or something like that. So what I have written down as an example would be a message board. Um, it can be written. It's a written application, so they can write down on the board to help. Message board. They can communicate with that. They also have message boards that have like visuals, like they have pictures, and the child can click the picture and then they can communicate that way and let you know what's going on or what they need. Another one would be environmental interaction. So, how that student is able to interact with the classroom. How can they function in the classroom? So, their daily routine, their daily lives. It allows students to be included and be independent while they're in that classroom. So, what I have as an example would be an adjustable desk. So, say the student can't sit down like a typical student in a chair. You can raise their desk and they can stand instead. Another application, assistive application, would be um, swivel chairs. Those are pretty cool. I've seen those before. Um, it just helps students that can't sit still. So that would help a student be able to focus on the task. So some additional assistive technology that I've used and I've experienced would be, well, I work in a reading lab, so a lot of our assistive technology has to do with students that have difficulty with reading. So a lot of my assistive technology tools that I've implemented in my classroom, I've learned through more experienced teachers. They've they've used it and they spread the education on it. So I've learned a lot of that kind of applications. Some cool, fun activities that can help a child would be to have them create their own flashcards. We do that quite a bit. So it just helps them break down the words and the letters. So you would give them an index card that has the visual. So it would have a highlighted sight word or letter, and they would use glue and they would trace on top of that highlighter, and it gives them that you know visual, and they verbalize the sound, they talk about it, they use tools to trace it, and then after it dries the student can trace it with their finger and learn that letter a little better. Another cool tool that you can give students that I've had experience with would be a student that has a hard time regulating their emotions. So I have students that have pencils that have these cool. It's just on the top part of their pencil, and it's like a fidget spinner, and they just need brain breaks sometimes from the task that we're doing in the classroom. So to take them out of that situation, they have the fidget spinner on top, and they would flip through it. It has clicking ones. It just has spinning ones, and they can just sit there and do that and take their mind off of what was frustrating them, and then they can come back when they decide to come back. So it just gives them that independence to self-regulate and not feel like everybody else is doing it and they can't. So it just helps them be calm in the task. I've also seen a lot of teachers, if a student has anxiety, they have weighted vests that they can put on them. So that's a good assistive technology. It just, gives them that comfort, and you just stick it on them for a little bit, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and, it just gives them that comfort while they're doing the task. Uh, we've also used a lot of audiobooks in my classroom where the student can hear the story and it highlights the words, and then they read it back to you, and they, just teaches them sight words and reading. That's Raz Kids. I've used that a lot of times for an example. It's a great website. Um, I think that's all I have. Talk about what the role is and all that. Assistive technology is great to have in your classroom. All students want to learn, and all students deserve a chance to learn. And I think that with these kind of tools, it it helps every student. Not only the one that's having struggles, but it also helps those students that are in the classroom so they're not distracted from tasks if, the student's having a hard time. So I think that they're really great to have in a classroom. It can be something, super small as, cards, indicator to cards with just color note cards that, explain, hey, how are you feeling? Just simple things that you can, put into a classroom. It could be anything, any device, anything that you have that is going to help or assist that student improve their learning. So that is my reflection, and hope you guys stay well and be safe out there.